Hi, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Star Wars. Mostly about this first Star Wars novel called From the Adventures of Luke Skywalker. This was published in 1976, so it's kind of the world's first experience of Star Wars because the first movie came out in 1977. I think it's well worth reading this for people that are keen on Star Wars. If you're not keen on it, there's very little you're going to get extra from this novelization. This novelization sets out the landscapes very well in very good language. The background of the characters is more well set out. For example, the prologue is more substantial, whereas when you watch the movie, you get that yellow text on that rolling screen, and it's less apparent exactly where you are in this universe. The Sand People are explained in kind of evolutionary terms, and their linguistics baffle other people, and that's quite an interesting addition you see in this book. When the Millennium Falcon is sucked into the Death Star in the movie, it's not really feeling very realistic that Darth Vader and co don't look at every nook and cranny in the spaceship to find the rebels. Because there's never any explanation, I feel, in the movie, whereas in this we learn that Darth Vader and co, that is, print out a log in the ship which shows that they evidently evacuated the ship, and they reflect that the Millennium Falcon is probably a decoy. So I feel that's better set out. This was created from a screenplay by George Lucas and actually written by Alan Dean Foster. I'd particularly recommend that those who want to read subsequent Star Wars novels, such as this novel here, read this novel, because this novel sets out the universe, the first glimpse we get of the universe, and it's written onto a kind of blank canvas. The dialogue in this novelization is more substantial and much more clipped for the movie because of time constraints, no doubt. There is a kind of innocence to the Star Wars movies, the good against evil thing, but still it's not that innocent, because Luke and co, they want a certain form of government and insist on that. I personally think that all violence is wrong, but this is a kind of fantasy world and removed from our time on Earth. So it's very enjoyable, and of course the music in the movie is brilliant, and the costume design is brilliant, and it's got that kind of Greek mythology to it, which makes it chime with us, I feel. Creative writing experts have observed that throughout history, certain tales have always appealed to people, and the Star Wars plot draws on that. After From the Adventures of Luke Skywalker, Alan Dean Foster wrote Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which is the second Star Wars novel. This was never actually made into a movie because it was only intended as the basis for a movie if the first one didn't gain a lot of success. And as we know, the first movie, the 1977 movie, got a lot of success, so they could go for a more high-budget extravaganza because of that. So, to my knowledge, there's never been any movie creation of Splinter of the Mind's Eye, although there might have been some small productions, I'm not just sure. I myself found that there were not uncommon words, but common words that are still kind of advanced words in this novelization, so I think it's a great work to read for those who want to expand their vocabulary that don't know a lot of words yet. I'm going to read the back. Luke Skywalker challenged the stormtroopers of a distant galaxy on a daring mission where a force of life became the power of death. Farm chores sure could be dull, and Luke Skywalker was bored beyond belief. He yearned for adventures out among the stars, adventures that would take him beyond the furthest galaxies to distant and alien worlds. But Luke got more than he bargained for when he intercepted a cryptic message from a beautiful princess held captive by a dark and powerful warlord. Luke didn't know who she was, but he knew he had to save her, and soon, because time was running out. Armed only with courage and with the lightsaber that had been his father's, Luke was catapulted into the middle of the most savage space war ever, and he was headed straight for a desperate encounter on the enemy battle station known as the Death Star. So, in conclusion, if you fail to read this novel, you haven't missed anything, but if you want to get into reading the novelizations, I suggest you read this one first. So how do you feel about Star Wars and its cultural power in our world? Can we learn anything from Star Wars? it's almost a bit philosophical, well, politically philosophical, this novel, with its talk of royalty and the Republic and the Machiavellianism of Darth Vader. I would enjoy to read your comments. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.